Let's start out with a case study. Let me introduce you to Kim and Paul. Paul had a good job with a tech company that he was happy with, and Kim was already retired. They were all prepared for full retirement for the both of them pretty soon. They had a large total account saved up, about $900,000, that was building toward their financial independence retirement number. Based on their calculations and planning, they figured they needed just over $1.2 million in order to gain financial independence by the time they were ready to retire. A very achievable number they were well on track for. They had it all mapped out and were confident and secure about their future retirement. Now let's take a look at their future retirement calculator. Paul is 62 and Kim is 64. Paul was planning to retire in 3 years, and they were banking on 25 years in retirement, having purchased a deferred annuity if Paul lives past 90. They have been accustomed to about a 9% rate of return. They have no plans to get more conservative or aggressive on that growth rate during their retirement years. A 3% assumed inflation rate is pretty common in the US, and they were hoping to be able to live on and withdraw about $80,000 per year from their retirement accounts, beyond what Social Security would provide for them during retirement. This is how they arrived at their $1.2 million financial independence retirement number. You can see here that it's just a little over $1.2 million. They also had a plan for how they'd get there. So let's go to the savings and investment calculator to see how that's done. Since they currently had $900,000 in their retirement accounts, and Paul planned to work another 3 years, earning a 9% rate of return, they could arrive at their $1,202,000 retirement number by contributing another $891 a month for the remaining 3 working years. This was exactly what they intended to do. Well, that is until Paul's employer was bought out and his position as sales manager was no longer needed. They were throwing a curveball. Paul didn't want to have to start a brand new job at his age, and Kim was already accustomed to retirement, so she didn't want to go back to work either. What could they do? Well, the first place to start in any situation like this is right from where you are now and what you have today. With that said, they had a few options facing them. Their first option is to begin retirement withdrawals immediately and reduce their retirement income needs budget. This would entail withdrawing less money per year than they were formerly planning on. If Paul truly does not want to go back to work, they could begin retirement withdrawals right now, today. They realize this means retirement starts now, so there are 0 years left until retirement, and their expected years in retirement will rise by 3 years, from 25 to 28. Based on their account value as it stands today, they have $900,000 accumulated. So solving for how much do you need to live on annually, you can see that instead of having $80,000 per year to spend, they could withdraw about $62,000 per year in today's dollars based on their account as it stands today. Still a very high number by most standards and a high quality of life. Doing this option, they would need to be reducing their current expenses by getting creative and saving more. We would help them by taking a look at their budget and seeing what the most realistic ways they would go about doing this could be. That's just one option. Another option would be for them to earn some additional income during their retirement. Using those same assumptions from before, if they chose to begin retirement withdrawals now, they could withdraw the $62,000 per year. But between the two of them, they could go for earning the additional $18,000 they are coming up short each year by starting up a side job or part-time business. Paul could consult young tech graduates just starting their careers on how to go about succeeding in the industry. Kim could capitalize on her fashion expertise by starting a blog online that is able to generate some extra income each month. They could get into real estate by purchasing a small condo and renting it out. Again, the options here are almost limitless, restricted only by how creative they want to get and how much effort they're willing to put in. If that doesn't sound very exciting or doable to them, then they could still get another full-time job, either one or both of them, but that is exactly what they were hoping to avoid. Another option is for Paul and Kim to increase their returns. One or both of them could take an investment or currency trading course. Once they feel comfortable and confident investing money, increasing their returns is not out of the question. As we've mentioned before, we work with plenty of people who have become accustomed to 15% plus returns by studying certain strategies. It isn't easy and it takes a commitment, but if they are willing to dedicate themselves, we're very confident they could get themselves to a level of increased returns beyond what they are currently expecting. If Paul and Kim could bump their earnings rate up to 12%, then they'd currently have enough to withdraw the original $80,000 per year they wanted. Well, actually, they're about $17 per year short. Increasing the rate of return is the route that many people choose to take. Of course, they could always come up with a combination of any or all of these options put together. And there are certainly a whole lot of additional options as well. This just goes to show the tremendous amount of flexibility and creativity that you have available to you with your retirement. Even if things don't go exactly to plan, you have options and ways to make it up, speed it up, or further secure your future. Have you encountered a situation similar to Kim and Paul? Do you think it's possible that you might? No matter your answer to those questions, I think it's pretty safe to say that there are still some doubts for many of you as to if you'll be prepared financially when retirement time finally comes, and certainly if it's already here for you. Our aim is to calm some of those worries and to give you hope here in the next few lectures, so stick around.